Okay. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, YouTube? What is good, gamers? It is your boy, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you. Let's all be one cohesive unit and hit that like button. Help spread the content to a wider audience. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. I would appreciate it. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. So, what is going on, everybody? Oh, Wanye Tuda, Vid Kid, Psycho Mystic. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? So, uh, I am here. Ryan, what is going on? So naturally, I'm here to announce the winner of the giveaway to celebrate me hitting 200 subs. And I want to start by saying thank you, everybody. Win, what's up? Oh, before we get to that situation with the winner of the giveaway, I just want to pass on some information real quick. It is a date. I have a time. I have a day. This Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, uh, the Lincoln Show, and it has been confirmed that my guest will be Foxy Games UK. So you definitely don't want to miss that. In terms of how many subs he has and whatnot, this will be the biggest YouTuber on the Lincoln Show yet. You say when you said by the way, if those Xbots are trying to win, tell them win with my nuts. Okay. The Black Ranger, what's going on? So yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that. It should be a pretty good show with Foxy Games UK. He's very down to earth. I spoke to him a little bit in the podcast last weekend in the PlayStation Plus podcast with Sick Humor. Shout out to Sick Humor. King Thrash, my man. How you doing, bro? Hey, Thrash, tell us a little bit about that Detroit Become Human. In fact, if you want to jump in here, you can. Yeah, I definitely like Foxy Games. It was totally hilarious. One time I seen him get into it with some Xbots in his chat section. So, Savage Uger, what's up? So, oh, you at work right now? Okay, then, bro. Okay, Thrash. Well, then, enjoy the show. Hopefully it'll kill some time while you at work. Hey, Black Ranger. Thrash has been in here a few times. Naturally, I'm a member of the the Roundtable podcast, but Thrash has been in here a few times, and the man always got good insight. The man is highly intelligent. He'll bring it to you ghetto style, but oh yeah, man. Actually, I was going to get to that, Thrash. You said you give the game an 88. I was going to get to that about Detroit Become Human. I saw an article at N4G where somebody there gave the game a 4 out of a 10. And so I'm reading up on it, and he didn't really seem to explain what he didn't like about the game. He just kept on talking about how the game didn't really seem to take you inside of an android's life. It seemed more about androids wanting their freedom and expressing a message about racism and slavery being bad and blah blah blah. Well, no shit. So just after a couple of paragraphs, I quit reading the article because he wasn't making any fucking sense. The person complained a little bit about the controls, but other than that, I don't know what this person was looking for as far as what he was looking to get out of that game. So, but I'm sidestepping and I'm dancing around the shit. I'll come back around to this stuff. Let's get on with the winner. Let's get on with the winner of the giveaway. And there was a little situation here yesterday. As I said in my video, I said I posted a you see lower scores, even lower. Yeah, see, that's what it see Black Ranger, it looked like it said 2.5. And then when I actually clicked on an article, it was a big 4.0 at the top of the page. So, but getting back to this thing about the giveaway. So I showed an image and then this image, I said the first person in the comment section who had the correct answer along with their Twitter and their preference of what card they wanted would be declared the winner. And so I go and check I go and check the comment section on my phone, and truth be told, Savage Yuger, based on what I saw in my phone, Savage Yuger actually had the right answer first, but I did not declare him the winner because he did not include his Twitter and preference of what card he wanted. So since that eliminated him, the next person in line was Ryan Landis, because I think according to the way the comments was coming in on my phone, his comment came in like 2 minutes after Savage Yuger's. And so I messaged him. I replied to his comment and I declared him the winner. And I was all set to send him the card. And then VidKid 96 said, wait a minute, my comment was first. And I never saw his comment. And he said he even sorted it, from newest to oldest, and even time stamped it. And Ryan, was good enough to back him up on that. He said, yeah, he is. He said, VidKid is right. He did submit his comment first, and his comment was before me, so he should be declared the winner. And so I'm going through my phone, and I'm like, I do not see his comment anywhere. And I said, what the hell's going on? So just probably about a half hour ago, I fired up my computer and I went through the comments and I sorted them from newest and started at the very bottom. And sure enough, VidKid came up. He had the right answer first. And I'll even screenshot it. I'll even screenshot it for you. I'll even share my screen. Just a second. No. So actually, stop it, Coon. But hey, as a consolation prize to you, Coon, I did dig up some pictures of when I was young. So I'm getting ready to share my screen in a second so I can prove that VidKid did come up with the right answer first. So let me share my screen. Give me a second, everybody. All right. So this is the page that we're currently on right now. This is so I can manage, so I can monitor the comments. But I'm going to click over here and go to the top. So you can see that's the title of the video. And so I'm going to scroll down, and right there where it says sort by, newest first. So you see that I'm going newest first. I'm going to start all the way from the bottom. And it looked like the first comment came from Spartan God, then Eric, J-Dog, Don't Call Me Daddy, Sick Humor, which he knew the answer, but he was ineligible because he's a member of the PlayStation Podcast and a close associate of mine. Gunru congratulating Eric Erazo with Robot Ninja Erazo. So no, that was way off. And then right here, right above his, is VidKid right here where I'm highlighted, where I got my cursor at, rather. Says, congratulations on getting 200 subs. Lincoln, the guy in the picture, is Ultraman from the 1966 series. He prefers a PSN card, and there's his and he submitted his Twitter as well. So with that being said, he is the winner. So I have your your Twitter account, and what I'll do, well, I can stop sharing now that I've clarified it. But let me see here. But let me look at something real quick. So there's VidKid, Psycho Mystic, Jamal, Craig Harris, Savage Yuger right there. See where his comments was? His comment came like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 comments later. And there's his comment right there, but he didn't include his Twitter. And then right after that, Ryan's comment came in like 2 minutes later, according to my phone. And there's his right there. So VidKid is the winner. And so, but here's what I'm going to do. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to buy a PSN card probably tomorrow. I'm going to take 2 pictures. One is the front of the card, so he knows that it's the card that he asked for. And then I'm going to scratch off the code, flip it over, and take a picture of the code and send it to him directly through Twitter, through a direct message. How would you be surprised to see Ultraman? I mean, Ultraman, like VidKid said, it was the 1966 series. I was born in 1967. What's up, Titanfall Princess? How you doing? So yeah, that old school. See, actually, I wanted to put Goldar up there from the Space Giants. I don't know if anybody remembers that series because it came out around the same time as Ultraman. Like because I was watching reruns. Andre 6K, what's up? When I was a kid, they were rerunning these shows. So I saw these shows when I was about 8, 9 years old. So they were doing reruns of these shows. And around that time, you had Space Giants, you had Ultraman, you had Johnny Sacco and his flying robot, and those were the shows that I was watching. And then I think maybe like I want to say like another 5 years after that or something like that, then Spectre Man came out. So yeah, we're shooting for 300, Princess. No, Vid Kid, I'm 51 years old. I just turned 51 a couple of weeks ago. So, but Ryan, I feel really bad for declaring you the winner and then having to snatch it back. So here's what I'm going to do for you. As a consolation prize, what's up, Eric? As a consolation prize to you, Ryan, I have a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda, still in the wrapper, unopened. It's been sitting around. Thank you, Psycho Mystic. I've had this copy of Mass Effect Andromeda. I bought it from Newegg, and it's been sitting around for the last couple of months. Thanks, Vic Kid. And truth of the matter is, I'm never going to get around to playing that Mass Effect because I got so many games. It's going to end up being a backlog game that I may never reach. Well, thank you, Black Ranger. Appreciate it. So, with that being said, Ryan, if you would like that copy of Mass Effect Andromeda as a consolation prize, Phantom Mephisto, the Canadian grizzly bear, send me a direct message on Twitter with your information, like your mailing address and that kind of stuff, and I'll mail it to you. Like I said, it's an unused copy of Mass Effect Andromeda, still in a wrapper, never opened it. So it's just going to be basically a backlog game that I'm never going to get to. You said the co-op inside of State of Decay 2 is broken as fuck. Don't surprise me. I call it a State of Dookie. Not State of Decay, State of Dookie. Taking a word from from One Stop for Gamers, the Dookie box. The Dookie box. Okay, cool. So hopefully that'll make up for that boo boo. See, the big thing was Ryan, that I was looking at the comments from my phone, and it's yeah, there you go, State of Duke. Thank you, Coon. And I'll get to those pictures here shortly. I'll share my screen again in a few minutes, Coon, and show you those pictures from when I was young, when I used to be a pretty boy. Um, upload a uploading a video of a glitch I just captured. I heard all kinds of shit. Who was it? What's up, Lewis? Who was it? It was Craig Harris. I was listening to his podcast that he did yesterday, and I think he said something to the effect that he was playing a game, and I guess they got into a wreck or something like that. And the car flipped over and landed on another car. It was humping the car that it landed on. So I don't know. Uh, I just don't get how a game can be that fucked up and the media is still trying to give this game a pass and not calling it out for what it is. Even if the game is fun, it is garbage just for the simple fact that it's a broken mess. You know the vid kid, that Mass Effect Andromeda, I actually bought it from Newegg. I bought it for $10. And it's not a game that's at the top of my list. But because it was $10, I couldn't pass it up. So I ordered it. It came and I never used it. It's just sitting there. And Titanfall Princess, yeah, that's so State of Decay is bad. I mean, see, I never got this logic. Yeah, he said Craig said his car went kid on him. I never got that logic about if I see a game that just don't look good, I don't get this logic how they was like, well, if you didn't play it, you got no place to judge it. I'm not gonna go spend $10 on a Game Pass membership that I'm gonna have difficulty getting out of that membership when I want to cancel it. Nor am I going to spend $30 on a game that looks to be garbage, only to pop it in and see the game fucked up, and then I can come back and pass judgment on it because I seen it fucked up. What's up, Demigod? I'll stay true to my word. If you wanna come in here, Demigod, I'll send you a link on Twitter. Last time I did a podcast, you wanted to jump in here, and I told you the next time I do a podcast, I said you can join me there. So if you want to jump in, I'll send you a link. Yeah, this is that's I just don't get it. I just don't get it with these Xbox. And speaking of which, the Xbot trying to claim a win. I'll get to that in a minute because I saw somebody's video, and that's what prompted this. So I'll get to that in a minute. But let me share my screen real quick. And because I want to keep my word to the coon, because I told him how I used to look like a pretty boy when I was young. Um, and I didn't have the pictures in my computer at the time. I got the pictures now, so I'm going to share my screen, and so we can all have a laugh and show y'all what I look like when I was young, about 25, 30 years ago. And so yeah, y'all probably gonna get a good laugh out of this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Only got 3. No, yeah, I got 4 pictures here. Okay, so I can show these to y'all. Oh yeah, you want to see the perm coon? All right, here we go. All right, let's go ahead, screen share. Screen share, share. Okay, so let me bring up here we go. I'll show you this picture first because I was suave and debonair. Right there. This picture right here. You see where my arrow is swirling around my face right there? that is me right there. I believe I was this picture was taken I want to say I think I was 20, I think I was 27 at the time that this picture was taken. And this was taken the weekend of my birthday, and and you can see I got a little bit of a perm. Got the swab and debonair tie. I don't know if you can see it, but both of my ears were pierced. I had gold hoops in both ears, right here where the arrows are at. And this is my youngest brother, and this is one of my boys that I grew up with, and that's my father's best friend. And so let me show you another picture, because that's one of the better pictures. Now the next picture I'm going to show you is going to be some freaky looking shit that's going to have y'all laughing. Y'all gonna laugh your ass off when y'all see this shit. But first, let me check y'all comments real quick to see if y'all laughing your ass off. Hey, shit, I was um. Hey, Coon, I was a rather handsome man back then. I ain't no ugly motherfucker now, but I was rather handsome. You couldn't tell me shit that I thought I looked so good. I thought I was the hottest motherfucker since Sunburn. All right, let me show y'all another picture. Now, this is the one that's gonna have y'all laughing right here. Y'all gonna laugh y'all motherfucking asses off. Okay, let me see if I can expand this. Rotate. No. Shit. Add creation. Where the hell? Sure. Okay. Any case, so the one in the middle is me. And I had that wild ass punk rock hair. Now, so let me tell y'all the story here. Right here, this dude on the end, where I'm, circling the cursor on him, that's got the sweater on. That was my boy that I used to run around with. Me and him used to be the 1-2 punch up in the club, and this is his brother. That dude thought he was the godfather of Grand Rapids. You can see by all the gold he was wearing and shit like that, and this damn fur coat he wearing and shit like that. That dude thought he was a king of New York or king of Grand Rapids. And so anyway, this is my boy that I was saying right here. He put he used to have a small, tight afro, and so he put a Jerry curl in his hair, and I noticed how he was already kind of good with the girls anyway. But once he put that Jerry curl in his hair, it was on and cracking. The women was falling out of the ceiling for him. And so I said, hold on, I gotta roll with this. I gotta, let me get this Jerry curl too. And so he put the shit in my hair, so I bought the shit. We went back to his crib. He put the shit in my hair, and my head caught on fire. That fucking damn perm grease, that's damn shortening, whatever you want to call it, that shit burnt the fuck out of my damn head. And so I'm screaming, man, get this shit out of my head. So, I stick my head under the bathtub faucet, and we rinsed the shit out, and we started, towel blotting my hair and then drying the hair and shit like that. And it wouldn't curl up. And so I'm like, what the fuck going on? My hair was still straight, and it wouldn't curl up. So we started trying to use curl activator and all kinds of gels and everything, and the shit would not curl up. It just stayed straight. And so I went ahead and rolled with it. Long story short, I rolled with this hairdo for a few years. Hey, but laugh all you want, but I was up in the club snatching them up. I was snatching them like a dentist pulled teeth. I was getting strikes every time I come up in there shooting perfect 300s. Let me see what y'all got to say about this one in the comments. Lincoln, you the dude, fire this. Daniel Marson, the picture that I just showed, I was the one in the middle. Let me see what else. Let me see what else y'all say, because I still got a couple of pictures. I still got a couple of pictures to show y'all. Okay, so let me go back, show y'all a couple of more pictures. All right, this is another picture from that same night. This is me on the end right here, where I'm circling myself with the cursor. That's me on the end. Right next to me in the turquoise shirt, that's my father. That's my youngest brother right there. And then again, that's my father's best friend. And so not only did I have the hoops in my ear, if you look over here on my pinky, I had a ring on my pinky, and it was actually a snake that coiled around my finger, and the head popped up like it was about to strike. And that was taken the same night. That was taken the same night as the other picture where I was wearing this sport coat, because it was actually my birthday that weekend. Now, the next picture that I'm getting ready to show you, this was the girl that I was dating at the time, and she was the one who took these pictures. And this next picture probably gonna be one that's gonna have your asses laughing too. Well, like I said, damn, I was a gorgeous motherfucker. God damn, I was silky fine. Oh. Now, hold on, Coon. I got one more picture to show y'all. Y'all probably gonna laugh at this one too. So hold on. Here we go. Blow that one up. This was the girl that I was dating at the time, and she was the one that took those pictures. It was my birthday weekend. She had took me shopping, bought me a whole bunch of clothes and shit. And we topped the night off that night by getting dressed up. She put on a dress, and I put on that suit, and we went out. And so again, you can see the little specks underneath my ears from the hoops, in my ears. And then this jacket that I was wearing is a Miami Dolphins jacket, because at the time the Miami Dolphins was my favorite team. But you can look at my hair at the top and see how feathered it is, and how gorgeous I was, and how young and dashing I was. But I gotta admit, this girl right here, she was one that I shouldn't have let get away. She was a ride or die. She would do anything for me. But I was one of the wild motherfuckers out there that was tearing up the streets, and just like I was just disrespectful, didn't really give a fuck about shit. I was just out there tearing up the streets, and she tried to put the clamps on me about wanting a serious relationship, and I was evasive about it. That's just me being young and dumb, so that was one I shouldn't have let get away. But hey, it is what it is. You live and you learn. But she was a good girl though. And so that is it right there. So I hope y'all had a good laugh out of that shit. Those pictures, Eric, those pictures were from the early they were from the early 90s. I want to go on a limb and say that those pictures was probably from 1994, 95, maybe. So okay, let me kill this, stop sharing now that y'all seen it. Okay. So now let's get to the subject about an Xbot trying to claim a win. Fatal Mephisto, rest in peace, Total Biscuit. I'm not familiar with who that is, but nonetheless, I send my condolences. You about to beat Bloodborne, Princess? All right, that's what's up. Well, I'm glad you like those pictures, Coon. It's still I still got a lot more pictures from when I was young, but I'd have to dig them up because they like in closets and shit like that. And I'd have to you were 9 and 95. So you know, so Daniel Marston, I think if I want, like I said, I think that picture was taken in 1994, 1995. If that was the case, I was 28 at the time. But nonetheless, you can still see how young I looked though. When I turned 21, I still looked like I was 14. And I would go to the store to try to buy some beer, and they would try to keep my ID because they thought it was fake. So, but let's get into the subject about the Xbot trying to claim a win. Um, so god damn, I hate to bring this up, but so I'm scrolling through YouTube, looking for videos to watch. And Um, so I see a crap gamer video that says something to the effect that Sony makes big announcement that could help Xbox win. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And so before everybody start banging on crap gamer, this I'm not bringing this up to bang on crap gamer. I brought this up because his mentality in this video basically speaks for all Xbox. Thanks, Coon. So basically, what Crap Gamer was saying that I guess when Sony had its meeting with its investors and stuff, and John Cordera was telling them that the PlayStation is entering the final stages of its life cycle and how they're going to crouch down, for the next 3 years and whatnot till March 2021. I think what they took that as is that the PlayStation is going to release in 2021. And so Crap Gamer was saying that he thinks that's a good thing for them to wait until 2021 to release the console because that's with the Xbox coming out at the same time, that's going to make it more competitive, and that's going to push Microsoft to be competitive and all this other shit. First of all, Microsoft has this mentality about trying to get out the blocks first. We said it 1,000 times. That's why they released the Xbox 360 when it wasn't ready, because they was trying so hard to get the jump on the PS3. So I wouldn't expect this to be any different. And I think Microsoft still has that mentality about getting out of the box first, getting out of the blocks first. I still believe that Microsoft still has that mentality, so much to the point that they would have been willing to release another broken console in order to get the jump on PlayStation. People talk about 2020, 2021 when the PlayStation 5 might release. I just cannot get this 2019 number out of my head. Because I really think they want to shoot for holiday 2019. And I think if Sony waits till 2020, 2021 to release the PlayStation 5, I don't think it'll be because they want to milk out all their exclusives and get everything they can out of it. I think that they'll release it when they're ready. Savage Uger, Microsoft isn't thinking competitive. They want 2 billion gamers. That means Xbox and all devices. Exactly. So I think when Microsoft what they release and when they release it all depends on what their intentions are. If they release some kind of Steam box trying to go after every gamer on the planet again, they'll release it when they're ready. But if they release a full-blown console, then I think it'll be a foot race for them to try to get out in front of Sony, because that's the Microsoft mentality. They think they need to get out in front of Sony to win, or at least have a big head start. So with that being said, Crab Gamer thought that was a victory because Sony, he took it that Sony's going to wait till 2021 to release the PS5. When the fact of the matter is, he knows damn well that if the PlayStation 5 releases before the Xbox 2, that the next generation is going to pick right up where this generation leaves off. And I believe Sony is going to beat their asses again because they're going to have the exclusives. What is up, Jay Wags? You want to jump in here while you booing me? So lost my train of thought for a second. So anyway, I thought, hey, thanks, Jay Wags. Hey, Savage, like I said, if they try to put out a full blown console, they are going to break their fucking backs to try to get that console out before the PS5. And like I said, even if it means releasing a console that's buggy. Oh, you're not home? Okay. Well, I'm glad you can jump in here for a minute. So however long you stick around, I appreciate it. And so I think that's pretty pathetic for Crap Gamer to say something like that. But I think there's a whole lot of Xbots that think that way. I think it's pretty pathetic when you think the best chance of winning the next generation is for the competition to not be there. I think that's pretty sad when you think for the Xbox to have the best shot of winning the next generation is for Sony to release their console after the Xbox. So it sounds to me like, he didn't have a problem with Microsoft releasing their console before Sony, but no, he think that's a good thing for Sony to wait, and then release theirs after Microsoft. That just, it's really stupid to even think like that. Daniel Marston, Sony will wait for Ryzen to come down in price. Also, I think Sony will phase out the slim PS4 and just sell the Pro before they release the PS5. I really think that I really do think that's going to be the case. I think the PS4 Pro is going to take over the PS4 at some point. Because I think maybe starting this year we're going to start seeing some more price drops on the PS4 Pro and the PS4. But again, if Microsoft, I think that's pretty sad for them to have that mentality that the best way that they can win is for Sony not to show up. I can tell you this right now. If the Xbox 2 were to release tomorrow, I would not buy it because Microsoft has already shown me where their head is at the last couple of years. Going all the way since E3 last year, and I think and I asked this question. I think I asked this question to Ryan the Professional on the Lincoln Show. Since E3 2000, since E3 of last year when the Xbox One X. Craig Harris, what is up, my man? You want to jump in here? Oh, thanks for giving me a shout out too. Congratulating me on 200 subs. But if you ain't got nothing going on, feel free to jump in here. I'm talking to, discussing something that some silly shit the Crap Gamer said. But and what I'm saying is not to take a shot at him directly. It's just that I think he's representing all the Xbots, because if he didn't say it, somebody else would have. I can see somebody like Code Eastwood saying some shit like that. What's up, Uncompetitive? Thank you, sir. Savage Uger, how much you want to bet Microsoft E3 2-hour conference will include Minecraft VR for the Xbox One X? I do not think so. I do not think so, Savage, because not unless they plan on alienating the original Xbox One and I believe the Xbox One S, because I believe those consoles are supposedly not equipped or not powerful enough to handle VR. Uncompetitive, you really doubt that there will be an Xbox 2 as anyone wanting more power can just buy a gaming PC? Truth be told, Uncompetitive, the next Xbox could very well not have any power. If it's, if they're trying to make this cloud-based gaming work, or I said it before that, they can very well release some sort of Fire Stick along with a Steam box. Thanks, Kuhn. I appreciate it. Daniel Marston, the only reason the 360 did so well is because I had a year and a bit of a head start, and the fact that PS3 was pricey at first. Sony won't make the same mistake twice. Now, a couple things right here, Daniel. First of all, you're right. But let's keep in mind, that a lot of those 360s that caught the red rings, from what I understand, Microsoft fixed those. They fixed those 360s and put them back out in the wild, and they counted it as a sale. And the 360 red rings, I guess, had a failure rate of 54%. So if they sold 80 million consoles over the console's life, and 54% of them failed, that's 40 million consoles that failed. Now take that away, and what did that leave you with? So if it wasn't, hang on, Craig, I'm gonna send this link right now. See here, copy. There we go. Craig's become the human. Bring him in here so we can talk about this garbage. There you go, Mr. Harris. Evo, what's up? What's up, Evo Preda? What's up? I don't, Ryan, I don't think anybody's going to be hyped for Crackdown 3. I think Microsoft is in a position where they have to show it to prove to everybody that that game is still on the table, that they're not going to cancel it. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they show more footage of Crackdown 3, and the game is still broken, and it may not even release until later on this year, like in the fall or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Scene vote win. The Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death had a 65%, rate. See, that's even worse than what I said. That's even worse than what I said, Win. And if you sold 65% of 80 million consoles, 65 of them had a failure rate. I mean, what does that take it down to? About 30-something million? So with that being said, if you eliminate all the consoles that took a dump from the red rings, that knocks you back down to about 35 million, maybe? Exactly where they're sitting at right now, in the 30 millions. Yeah, you take that out. If you take the red rings out of the equation, because like I said, supposedly Microsoft repaired them, sent them back out, and then counted them as sales, which I wouldn't put it past them. So sit tight, everybody. Craig is on his way. And he definitely has some interesting things to say in his podcast yesterday as well as today, and it helped me get through my day at work. Daniel Marson, I only had 2 PS3s. I had the first one that looked like a big giant freezer, what was the 40 gig one, and then when the PS3 Slim came out, I bought that. I didn't have a problem with either one of those consoles, but I need a calculator to count how many red ring consoles Xbox 360s passed through my hands. I would need a calculator to tell you that shit. Mr. Harris, how are you?
What's going on, brother? Congratulations on the 200.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. While we're on that subject of me hitting 200 subs, I want to thank everybody who congratulated me. I got so much love, so many congratulations. I almost felt like it was my birthday or something.
It's a milestone. It's a milestone. I remember hitting 200 myself. It was just like, wow, I can't believe it's. And and I was saying today that it's all around the world. You have subs all around the world. So people have always asked me why I do different podcast times. It's like, well, there's people around the world. So you want to do it when they can listen sometimes too. So
Andre 6K, thank you, my friend. Emmy Khan, he's one of the subscribers that was there from the very beginning. When I did my intro video, my very first video, King Thrash, screenshotted it and he showed it on his video, said, "Hey, this is my man Lincoln Clay. Check out his intro video, and I think that very next day, I think I got a message from Emmy Khan saying that he was a subscriber and that he came there, through Thrash. So he was, I think he was one of the subs that was there from the very beginning, and he's in the UK.
Yeah, and remember, they're 5 or 6 hours ahead. So if you were to do a podcast at 4 o'clock, it's 9 over there. That's a good time for them. You'll see a lot more people from over. Like I did a podcast this afternoon, or right about noon today. Well, there were people from Germany and Italy. That's who was commenting, because that's 5, 6 o'clock in the evening for them. So yeah, just try to keep the time thing up there. It's cool though. But man, great job, and man, I really think you're doing a real good job. So.
I really appreciate it. And, and again, I've said it so many times and I can't say it enough. Thanking everybody who had a part in this. You, Sick Humor, Titanfall Princess, King Thrash. So many people helped me with this. And, I mean, it goes hand in hand. It's up to me to make them stay, but all of you guys brought them to me.
Yeah. And again, those are all real good podcasts. They give good information and they play their games. I mean, that's the main thing, is that they're playing their game. So, because I remember when I did my first stream, and it was, matter of fact, it was Mafia 3. I think that's one of the first games I streamed, and there were like 7 people watching. And I'm like, oh man, there's hardly nobody watching. This is not going well. But then I looked at another stream, a live stream, and they only had like 2 people watching. And somebody maybe only had 5. I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's not as bad as I think. And sometimes I'll play Elite Dangerous and I'll have anywhere from 25 to 40 people watching. So it's it varies. So but yeah, everyone whether it be a Porter Rock 77, J-Wags, they all play their games. Titanfall Princess, she plays her games. King Thrash. So ultimately, for what I did, what helped me the most was I brought on different people, because my weaknesses were, like, my main weakness is PC. I know diddly squat about PC. So big shout out to J-Dub City. He really helped, like, put it in layman's terms for me. Like, this is what this part of the PC does. This is what it's going to do if it bottlenecks. Here's what a bottleneck means. Stuff like that. That really helped me. So, and the fact he was willing to come on also helps as well. So,
and that's the other thing where I feel really fortunate, because I think I've done 13 episodes of the Lincoln Show, and I've had some. I had some high caliber YouTubers on there. You, Sick Humor, King Thrash, Porter Rock, Ryan the Professional, all high, Titanfall Princess, all high caliber YouTubers. And I don't know if anybody else would have been able to get those caliber of YouTubers so early on, and I mean, when Sick came on the Lincoln Show, I only had 70 subscribers at the time.
Yeah.
Then he said, hey, we're going to get you to 100. We hit 100. He's like, we're going to get you to 200. And then, I hit 200 now, Titanfall and Sick was like, we're going for 300. But Titanfall just said, hey, I'm probably going to hit 1,000 by the end of this year. I really don't know what the future holds, to tell you the truth. All I can do is just keep doing what I'm doing and just let everything fall into place. But that would be great. But my second video, I think it was my second or my third video, I made a video thanking my subs. And at the time that I made that video, I had 6 subs. I had 6 subscribers. And and I was still humble, and I was still humble, and I was still appreciative of it, because I said, hey, I got six subscribers. That means there's 6 people out there that want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly the way we all need to look at it. And so, I mean, that's the way I look at it. And it's like, you know, so I'm off tonight, going to a movie. I'm off tomorrow, come hook or crook. I may do a podcast tomorrow after I play Detroit for about 8 hours. You know, so I'll probably do a podcast on that just to give it a review, a quick review or something like that, a snapshot review. But yeah, the way I look at it is that they are there. And I've always told people what I hated was I would look at it, this is before I started my channel, is I hated the fact that I would leave a comment on the thing and nobody would respond. And I hated that. So anytime people respond to my content, I always respond back, even if you just give a thumbs up, no matter what they say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hated that. And granted, I was subbed to people. And I first really started subbing to people when Mass Effect 3 was on its way out, was coming out. And so, you know, the people I was subbed to were 25 to 40,000. It's like, you all don't even answer your comments. And one person did reply saying, if we responded to every comment, we'd be here all day. I'm like, well, maybe you should be there all day because people are taking time to listen to your content. So you never heard anything back from them. So
you know, I definitely took that into consideration. I think we got an echo on your end too.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Okay. It's gone now.
All right.
You know, when I first started subscribing to people, at first, you know, when I first started subbing to people, I was kind of looking for people that had good content, and I was also looking for the bigger YouTubers, you know, Review Tech USA, stuff like that, you know. And but then when I decided that I wanted to, you know, be able to reach out to these YouTubers, then yeah, I started, going with the YouTubers that didn't have as many as many subscribers, you know. So still, you know, I think when like I thought like Thrash, for instance, you know, without a doubt, he's my favorite YouTuber. And when I reached out to him, I think I caught him at the right time when I reached out to him, because he had about 600 subscribers when I reached out to him.
Yeah,
you know, but
it's good.
It was over time though, because I was commenting on his videos, and then I asked him what his PSN was, and then we became friends on the PlayStation, and then I talked to him a couple of times in party chat, and you know, from there we became friends. I don't know if that would have been possible for me to become friends with Thrash like that if he would have had like 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers. You know, where he would have had so many subscribers, he wouldn't have been able to interact with everybody.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, and that's, I've always thought that to me, it doesn't matter what the sub count is. You should always try to respond, especially to your new subs, because everybody gets the notification when somebody new subs. And I always, even if you back channel them on YouTube, this, you know, back channel, say thanks for subbing. Something like that does go a long way. You know, because they just don't feel like another number, another machine thing. So, I mean, my first like 25 subs, they're all mods, you know, and I'll change them every once in a while. Like I'll change them. Hell, I'll probably change them tomorrow. But yeah, I change them every once in a while just to keep them humble, because you know sometimes they be in that chat getting out of control. Now sometimes I let it go. I mean, like today, because I was out of control. So they got a little bit out of control too. So, but so yeah, this they'll kind of follow your lead. Like, hey, look, if you see somebody in there talking about somebody's mama, cussing somebody's race or their religion, they're banned. They're gone for good. Don't time them out. I will ban them for good. And everything else you kind of let go. I mean, to a certain point, you know. So
right.
But But yeah, it's but yeah, I possibly maybe King Thrash responds even if he has 60,000 subs. Well, who knows, but yeah, no, it's good that he was able to, and it's all good. It's all love.
People like Thrash. I think he would have, if he had 60,000 subscribers, I think he would still do his best to be interactive with everybody, but it would have been tough because Thrash got a style that the people that do like Thrash want to interact with him. They not just there watching. They want to interact with him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's got an entertainment model. The Next Gen 720, he's entertaining too. So his podcast today he did about how people are bitching, I guess about the woman on Battlefield 5, whatever battlefield it is. It was extremely thoughtful. I'm like, yeah, you can tell this is coming from a different spot. It was a good video. So, and he'll also do his crazy videos too. So it's entertaining. So yeah, you have to be a little bit entertaining. And like for me, with sharing my screen, I remember when I first learned how to do that, I thought I was the man. Now I have to learn how to upload content because I just want to start doing uploads, at some point, with video game footage in the background. I got to learn how to do all that. So, but yeah. So yeah, it's cool. So yeah, the cool. I got that Black Panther exclusive. Yeah.
As far as setting my channel up, I love the way Sick sets his channel up. How he plays a couple of songs before he gets into the podcast. I love how he has trailers playing. I want to do that kind of stuff. And me and him are going to get together soon so he can show me how to do that stuff. And and given my age, and the kind of music that I grew up on, I can't wait to get that going and pump some of that old school R&B, because I love old school R&B, music, R&B music from the 60s all the way up to, basically to the late 2000s or whatever, so 40 years worth,
Yeah, there was a great 40 years there from 60. Well, I'll say from 56 to but probably 2008, maybe a little bit, right up to when Obama got elected. Then everything turned to ass. Nobody good has come out since then. Yeah. There's been flashes. I mean, but now with auto-tune and stuff like that, everybody sounds good. Then you go see them live, and they sound like trash. I mean, they sound like trash. I mean, so.
And see, like when I grew up from the during the 70s, when I grew up, you had singers like Stephanie Mills could sing her ass off, and women like her was plucked out of choirs, the women the women that could sing during the 70s, a lot of them had a background, because they were in choirs or their mother before them was a singer or something like that. So so a lot of them could truly sing, and it wasn't anything about using any equipment to make them sound better or hey, Coon, hey, that party all the time. Once I get this shit set up, I just might do it because that song was one of the I look back at that song and I'm like, oh my God.
It was so 80s. You listen to that track now, it's so 80s. It's hilarious when you listen to it.
And then to see the way some of them dudes was dressed when that dude had that that dude had that shag. The shag is the black people's version of a mullet. When the hair is when the hair is short in the front, and then it's all thick in the back and shit. That's called a shag. That's the black people's version of a mullet.
Yeah, now you're right about that. It's straight trash. Fall of Duty, hopefully he's a sub, man. Fall of Duty had the funniest. It was last year, but shout out to Randall Thor. Randall Thor did a video on. This is when they announced Kingdom Hearts. See, this is the funny thing. Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced to be coming to all the consoles, stuff like that. Like last year at D23, wasn't a big deal. But now the Xbox community is acting like, oh wow, look at this, we have an exclusive, all this kind of stuff. But Randall Thor, shout out to him, did a video saying the game is going to come out on Xbox. It's not going to hardly sell. And it was just the way he was wording his video. It was kind of like, well, you know what, you're probably right. And I believe it was Call of Duty who said, well, if they give Mickey and Donald machine guns, the Xbox people will buy it. And I laughed about it for almost 3 straight days. So and I'm like, you know what? That's right. Yeah, he is right. But yeah, I heard you talk about the Xbox are trying to claim a win. And yeah, it's so bad that they know. First thing, they're under the impression that there's going to be another Xbox. And right now, nothing indicates that there will be. I mean, there's been nothing indicates, no earnings call, no nothing. Now they are building a bigger, extensive cloud service to put their games in, so everybody can just go get them. Doesn't matter if you got an iPad or an Android or a Windows tablet, whatever. So that's what they're doing. But I believe their hardware days are just done. They're done. Because what else is there once Sony comes out with their PS5 and their target is 60 frames per second? Once they hit that, that's it. That's it. That's Moore's law. That is the, what do they call it? That is the end of the universe.
Basically, because I think as of right now, I think when the PS5 come out, whatever the specs are, I think it's probably going to be the best specs they can come up with and still keep the console affordable. With that being said, I think if Microsoft releases a full-blown console, I think they're going to be in the same boat. I don't think their specs are going to be too far off from what the PlayStation 5 is going to be. So with that being said, it's probably going to be the matter of which console has the best content.
Yeah, that's what it is now. I mean, the Nintendo Switch, if you look at the NPD, they've got like 3 or 4 games in the top 10, and they're not up there because of power. Okay, and graphics, they're up there because they're good games to play. There's a certain quality you get when it comes to Nintendo. I am hearing Xbox guys, you want to call them that, saying that. This one guy yesterday said, you just have to admit that there's a level of it's a level of content and stuff like that Sony is going to put out with their first party IP that Microsoft can't touch. I mean, look, me and Fatal were playing State of Decay 2 today. He was like lagging. I mean, according to him, he was lagging real bad. So, and I played it for another 2 hours, and my screen just froze. I mean, just froze. And it's kind of like, all right, well, this is bullshit. Why is my screen just freezing?
I definitely wanted you to talk about that a little bit, about what you experienced with State of Decay 2. Now, with you playing that game for 2 hours, did you play it for 2 hours because you liked the game, or you were just trying to give it the old college try and play the game before you pass judgment on it?
Yeah, it takes about it, because I've never played a State of Decay game before, so I was trying to figure out how, because there's a way that we play the games, and then there's a way that developers want you to play the game. If you want the maximum enjoyment, you have to figure out how the developer wants you to play the game. And it takes about 2 hours for me to figure that out. It's like, oh, okay, I need to keep going back and doing this. I have to go back and do that. Oh, now I see with this weapon, it's going to do this. Oh, I have to figure out it doesn't match guns to bullets. You have to figure out, oh, your 44 Magnum, you can have 1,000 other bullets, but you can't take your 44 because you ain't got the right clip, so but it's that level of detail. There's a lot of management, like sim style. Like, you can have a bunch of food there and no medicine, and people start bitching. You can have the opposite. They started complaining because I ain't got no lights on. It's like, well, goddamn, you have to hook up a generator, the more zombies show up because they can hear it. So I gave it the old college try. I was authentically trying to enjoy the game. For me, on single player, it's much better. I've only had a few. I've had some crashes though. The zombie doing the running man, the car humping the other car. He drove over there by itself. Just stuff like that. I got stuck in a wall, stuck in a sink. So it's got some issues. It's got some issues. So if it wasn't for these glitches, what about the rubber banding? Did you experience any of that? when we no, I mean that's only in. I assume that's only on co-op, but that's a trash idea. That's not a good idea. I don't care who is putting it in there in what game. You don't tie people like that together. I understand in the game a way out, because that's, you do kind of have to work close together. But an open world game, I should be able to go wherever I want without any banding to me, So, but that's not the way they designed the game. So the co-op thing. Here's what I would do: if you've got a level in State of Decay or State of Decay 2 where you're trying to clear something out and there's a shit ton of zombies, get some help. At that point, you can just play that level together, clear it out. Everybody gets something out of it, and the person can leave. That's what I would do. It's like when I played Elite Dangerous. When I have to deliver something precious or attack a frigate, yeah, I'm going to reach out to like a bunch of people. Like, hey, look, help me take this frigate down. We all get a taste, So, and people will come and help, if they're close to you. But yeah, no, it's not. State of Decay 2 isn't a bad game. It's just, again, the problem with State of Decay and Sea of Thieves is that because the Xbox community was in a desert, they ginned up anything that was coming out of the pipeline. It didn't matter. They didn't care about the quality. Then when it gets here and it's garbage. I mean, garbage. Sea of Thieves is trash. Okay, they start damage controlling it. They literally start damage controlling it. When somebody sent something to shout out to Zaire, when somebody emailed him or something saying that he needed to watch the Discovery Channel to learn what pirates did. That way he could enjoy the game.
I remember hearing.
Yeah, I know, that's trash, man. That's trash. I mean, but that's happening in their community. And this is why I was telling Sick the other day that this is if you're a PlayStation guy, if you want to call yourself that, this is what a victory looks like. I mean, they're sending shit like this to each other. When he said the Kraken is lacking, the dude said, well, you took this too far. That's personal. It's just because they're mad because there's been no games come out. Meanwhile, they're seeing critical acclaim games being launched on the PlayStation, and it's killing them. It's really to the point where they're going crazy on that side of the aisle, so to speak. And there's a lot of people in the PlayStation community, they don't see that. They see it as, where they're bitching, they're complaining. No, they're actually going effing crazy. And I'm not saying that to be funny. They're going crazy because they don't have nothing to play, and they feel threatened that if Microsoft comes out and says, we're selling this piece of dog shit to whoever, then all of a sudden the way they play, the way they connect to their friends online, that's going to be gone. That will be gone. They'll be forced either to get a PC, which they don't want, or they will have to play on the PlayStation, which you can play online. But let's be honest here, Lincoln, that's not PlayStation's backbone, playing online. That's not where they're, you can play MLB The Show online, but they don't really talk about that. Okay, Gran Turismo Sport, you can play that online. They don't really talk about it. It's something that you do. It's just a function of the game. God of War has no online mode. Horizon Zero Dawn has no online mode. You don't have to be online. You don't have to connect to people. Spider-Man, as far as I know, will have no online mode. So you do not have to be online to enjoy those games. And for them, that's what they are. That's who they are as gamers. And they feel threatened. So like anybody, you feel threatened. What do? You lash out. And that's what they're doing. They're lashing out. So this is you were just explaining about the Xbot trying to get a win. Well, if you have to be in a spot where, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but if you need to be in a spot where in order for you to feel like you can compete, the other people don't even need to show up, that's pathetic. Exactly. Okay, but that's where they are. But that's where they are.
And that's what I was saying before you came in here. That I thought that was. Oh, we got a real bad echo now. Okay, now it's gone. And I thought that was real sad that that he had to say that kind of stuff, that's a good thing that Sony's not, coming out until 2021. And see, that's the other thing. I think that because Caldera said something about, getting ready to crouch down, over the next few years till March 2021 or whatever the case may be. I think people want to read into that and assume that that's when the PlayStation 5 is going to come out in 2021. I really think I'm still thinking 2019. The only way I can see this console coming out in 2020 is along the lines of what you said, is if they waiting for the price of this processor to be more affordable. But I think if everything works out the way they plan, I'm thinking in holiday 2019. Because there's a part of me that thinks that, Sony has their foot on Microsoft's neck right now. And I think they're ready to snap it next generation.
Yeah. Well, I still think understand the first 3 or 4 months of 21, that's still fiscal 2020. Mm-hmm. So even though the console would physically be on the shelf in 21, it's still the end of the fourth quarter fiscally, so it's still 2020 for Sony. I think some kind of announcement at PSX next year, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't get an announcement next year, but it'll be at PSX. Now you're going to have the fanboys and fangirls saying, "Oh, we're going to hear this. Oh, we're going to hear that." They're going to be making videos and stuff like that. Yeah, you won't. I mean, I won't make videos like that. I mean, when Sony comes out with something significant. I mean, the 3 things that happened this year was that they said that the PS4 was going to crest sales. It did. They said that they were working on the Ryzen chip, and they pretty much have now said that the PS5 is coming. They just have to get they've got it all figured out. They just have to figure out when they're going to mass produce. Mm-hmm. So, but it's the Ryzen chip is where they're going to go. Mm-hmm. So,
uncompetitive. You have a comment directed at Craig. Said, why should we have faith in Microsoft's consoles when they clearly don't? And that goes back to what I was saying, uncompetitive. If whatever form of the Xbox is, if it were to release tomorrow, I would not buy it. But if the PS5 were to release tomorrow, I would buy it. And this is not some ponyism. Sony has content right now, and we know that they are working on the PS5. With reports of Mark Cerny going around the developers, getting feedback, the reports of, people like Naughty Dog having dev kits, and, games are being worked on for the PlayStation 5 as we speak. Stuff going around about the specs, and with them having that recent call with the investors and saying, getting ready to, bring this generation to an end. All that stuff points toward, that the PS5 is not far away. What have we heard about the Xbox 2? All I ever heard about the Xbox 2 was like the Xbox One X hadn't even came out yet. And Phil Spencer said, "Oh yeah, we're already working on the next console." And I thought, like, how are you working on the next console when you don't even know how the Xbox One X is going to do it, because it hadn't been released yet. That was the first and only time I heard anything come out of anybody's mouths from Microsoft about the next Xbox. Everything else has been a bunch of stuff of what YouTubers have been saying. So, so I even go as far to say that's one of the things that really got me wondering if the next iteration of the Xbox won't be a console as we know it, that it might be something totally different, some kind of Steam box or even a Fire Stick.
Which would be fine. I want everybody to know that would be fine if that's where they're going to go to make their money, because what Uncompetitive was saying about you got to understand they cut the check for the Xbox X and S in 2012. So that's when they pushed that forward. So they already knew they were going to come out with something more powerful. That's why it's a lie when Phil Spencer says, "We heard you talking about power, we addressed it." They already were doing that. Now, whether they pushed it ahead a year or two early, I think that's what happened. I think they decided to do it early. I think the Xbox X was supposed to be the next Xbox, okay? Because you got a GPU in there with a 5.8, so by 5.580, a GTX or whatever the thing is, a Radeon 580. So, but yeah, they just it's just they don't have enough money in their budget for AAA studios. Now, with me saying that, they may announce 3 studios that they've opened, at E3, because that's what you're hearing. That's what I'm hearing, is that they're going to announce 2 to 3 more studios, and where the panic is coming in is that the Xbox community doesn't see any investment going forward. So,
I mean, no, like to me, E3 is not the spot to announce that you're opening studios. I could give 2 shit less whether it's Sony or whether it's Microsoft coming up on that stage and say, hey, we just opened up a new stage. What is that? A new studio? Is everybody supposed to jump up and start clapping or something?
Yeah, that's what will happen, because they need to feel, and these are grown-ass men, I can't believe I'm talking like this, they need to feel like they're Microsoft. They said they made an investment in the console. They need to feel like Microsoft is investing in the console for studios and games. They want games like God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, because those games push the developers of God of War said what? We pushed the pro as far as we could take it. Same with Horizon Zero Dawn's developer too. So, and you're hearing that with the Ghost of Tsushima, with Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch never worked, I don't think, on the pro. I think Infamous was only on the OG. I think that was on the original PlayStation 4. So that's all you're hearing is you have the developers saying, we're pushing it. And they see there's no game out that looks as good as Horizon Zero Dawn is the best looking game this gen. Looking game. So with the HDR effects on and all that kind of stuff, when you had that rolling on that game, it looks fantastic. So they see that and they feel like even though they have a more powerful product, they're still inferior. They're right, and so that's what we're seeing. So, and that's why they're behaving the way. And I'm talking about the Xbox podcast, because it's not everybody that has an Xbox. Fatal Mephisto has an Xbox. He don't talk like that. So it's not all of them. It's just there's some, and I get it, and I've said this before. I understand you all want to go after these cats next, and there's 3 people that they want, but you've already got them capitulating in their own way. They've all capitulated if you listen to their podcast. So that's as far as it's going to go. There's not going to be a Salem witch trial. There's not going to be a Nuremberg trial, whatever you want to call it. For them. Yeah, are they a bunch of liars and hypocrites? Absolutely. But that's been borne out through quantified data now. So.
Okay. Give me a second. Because I'm looking for VidKid's Twitter page so I can follow him, so I can get everything in order, so I can send him this PSN card this either tomorrow or Saturday.
Oh yeah, and congrats on winning that. So
yeah, I figured somebody was going to guess it. Did you see the image that I put up there that they had to guess what it was?
I did not see that.
It was an image of Ultraman from the 1960s 66 series.
Right.
And being how old that was, I figured that'd probably be a pretty good challenge for him to try to figure that out. But we had there was a little situation where his VidKid's comment did not show up on my phone. So I was about to award the win to Ryan Landis. And then VidKid was like, hey, my comment was first, and Ryan confirmed it and said, yeah, his comment was first. He should be declared the winner. And so I had to go back and check the computer and check the comments from, newest to oldest. And sure enough, his comment was there. He had the right answer first. So he was the winner. But, I respect Ryan's honesty as well as his graciousness in moving over and letting VidKid take the win. And so I've offered him a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda that's still in the wrapper that I haven't even opened yet. and so I'll mail that to him as a consolation prize.
Oh, okay. Well, if he has the Pro and you got a 4K TV with the 10-bit HDR encryption, that game looks phenomenal.
It does.
But the game is garbage. I mean, the story is trash, but the game looks
fantastic. Truth of the matter is, I'm never going to get around to that game because it's going to be a backlog game.
Yeah.
I got a problem. This is a good problem to have. I have a ton of games that I have not finished.
Yeah.
I got a bad habit of jumping around from game to game and not finishing them.
Yeah. Well, that's why I never started Persona 5, because when I'm hearing people saying that they are 100 to 130 hours in, I'm like, all right, that's Oblivion hours for me. That game, I was 218 hours into Oblivion, and I did everything. I joined the Wizards Hall, whatever it was called. I joined the Thieves Guild. I joined the Dark Brotherhood. I'm like, hell with it. I'm doing everything, So yeah, I have to be in a certain mindset to play that type of game, So yeah, that's cool though.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. The backlog is tremendous.
So if you're on the PlayStation right now and you got that backlog over there of Sony exclusives, you got a good problem to have.
Yeah. I mean, they'll call that in the Xbox community. They'll say, well, we have all these backwards compatible games that we can go back and play, because that's what they're doing. They look at Red Dead Redemption 1. That game came out, like 1,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. Great game. But now they're like, oh, it's 4K. This is a win for us. It's like, the game is 10 years old. I mean, damn. But that's the way they think. Here's the Xbox being used, the way that we want them to use it. They want these third-party developers to bend over backwards for them. And a lot of them are not doing it, except for their old games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny. To me, it's funny.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, shout out to the person playing Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, I recorded, I showed my girl-on-girl sex scene, mm-hmm. when I was playing last week. So yeah.
Hey, what's up, Carlos Fernandez? That's going to be one of the questions that I'm going to have for Foxy. He mentioned something about a pixel crush, and I'm going to ask him to explain what exactly a pixel crush and who is his pixel crush. So, so definitely keep your eyes open for that question, because I think it's going to be a pretty good answer.
I have two.
now, Craig, here is a situation where we may not agree.
Okay.
And that is, what is the best looking game on PlayStation right now? Naturally, you feel it's Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it might be Gears. I think it might be God of War.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's both. They're both exactly the same density. They're both 1800p and stretched to 2160p through a checkerboard.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as far as the density, I think the draw distance in God of War is a little bit better, but the density of the foliage and stuff like that, Horizon, is tremendous. So with that said, they're both very good looking games. nothing wrong with either one of them.
Right. And then don't forget GT Sport and MLB The Show. Those games look amazing too.
Yeah, MLB The Show is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I was playing that the other day, and I was just like, Jesus, this looks fantastic. You hate playing it because it looks like a work of art. It's kind of like I'm playing in a work of art here. Even the spring training facilities look fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I actually find myself being amazed by how good that game looks. And sometimes I'll let the demo mode play out and just sit there and observe how good the game looks. And I just get blown away by watching it. I was like, man, these games look this good. Man, just imagine what that stuff gonna look like on the PS5. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's I've heard people say, well, they'll be able to have more this, and the people say, nah, fam, these games are going to be photorealistic on the PS5. So, and there are going to be a lot of hurt people because I don't see anything. Forget about the whole gaming stuff. I've not seen anything Microsoft has said in an official manner to say we're coming out with another console after the X. I mean, they're going to say, of course, they're working on something because you don't want your stock to tank. Microsoft makes money because they make stuff, okay, whether it be software or hardware or whatever. So they're not going to ever say they're not going to say we're not making something because then your stock will go down. It's kind of like, oh, if you all quit making stuff, then your company's not as valuable. So, it's why Sony keeps making this Venom movie that's coming out in a few months. It's because they got to make stuff. It makes their company more, makes it, easier. And then they'll stress test at the beginning of the year to see if somebody wants to buy the company. That's why every year people are like, well, Sony's for sale. It's like every company's for sale the first quarter because everybody wants to see what they're going to get. The stockholders, the board of directors demand a stress test on every company. It just doesn't come out. But Sony being a foreign company, yeah, it's going to come out. But they all do that. So, but yeah, back to your original question. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the way God of War looks. I mean, it looks real good. With the Horizon Zero Dawn, I just thought the density. I mean, that program, you can see the ants crawling on the trees, taking leaves up like leaf cutter ants. You can actually see that, and that's an attention to detail that I've never seen before. So. I mean, you're right. It may not look as good as that water in Sea of Thieves. I saw somebody said that. So you're right. It may not look as good as that water.
Man, and Impatient Fire right there. It says MLB and GT Sport are fire.
Yeah.
One simple thing in GT Sport that looks so damn good is when you pull into the pits. The change of tires and get gas and stuff like that. How detailed that is. All those dudes standing around with the impact guns, the tires, the fuel tanks. I mean, man, it's like all these exclusives on Sony's just pay attention to so much detail. And like I said, I did like on MLB The Show. Sometimes I just sit there and find myself just watching the demo mode, just watching the full game play out in demo mode because it looked that good. OBJ to Don, Horizon is the best looking true open world game, and God of War is the best looking semi-open world game. Yeah, you get no argument from me there. Hey, LBJ, hey, I was going to say Uncharted 4. I was going to say that too. Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy is also some amazing looking games too. And then 1880s, The Order 1886 is a sleeper. That game isn't that game it still looks good. It's still an amazing looking game, even though it's in 1080p and it was a game that came out at the beginning of the generation. I still dare say that The Order 1886, even in 1080p, still looks better than any exclusive that Microsoft has put out in the past year, maybe with the exception of Forza 7.
Yeah, well, I think The Order, that's like 800p. I think the cut scenes are in 1080p, but that's just. But it's real cinema. The cinematographics, the way it looks like a movie. That's the look that the developers went for,
and that's what I love. When you play the game and it plays out like a movie, I love it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, and OJ the Don. See, to me, Lost Legacy. I forgot all about that game. That game, and that's 1440p. That's why I keep telling people, don't sleep on 1440p. I don't know why people do that. 1440p is QHD, and when that's done right, you get some gorgeous looking games. Like Uncharted 4 when they redid that, and then Lost Legacy. So those are great. Now they're both 30 FPS, but we're on consoles, and that's the trade-off. You want 60, you game on PC. That's just a fact. So.
And the detail in Lost Legacy, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but like the Lost Legacy, the details in some of those ancient temples and stuff, the detail is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And another good-looking game on the Xbox X is a multi-plat game. Is a Rise of the Tomb Raider. When they did that 4K, they have a 4K native, and then they patched the frame rate, so you get very little to no frame rate drop. And now, granted, this game is 2015. I know you all almost 3 years old, but it's still one of the best looking. That's probably their best looking multi-plat game on that system. I mean, you can make the argument that Far Cry as well looks really good on it, because that's a 4K native. It's the same type of build. I don't know if Far Cry. I assume Far Cry has HDR, but Tomb Raider. See, I don't think the PlayStation version of Tomb Raider, even on the Pro, ever got an HDR patch. It may have, but on the Xbox, that game looks real good. I'll put that up against their first party stuff. That studio did I think it was Nix's. I think they did a really good job on that. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to respond to a couple of things. First is Carlos Fernandez. He said, even Infamous Second Son, Drive Club, Killzone Shadowfall, all of those beat the brakes off most Xbox titles. You know, Carlos, Killzone was a launch title for the PlayStation 4 when it first launched. So out of the launch titles, I thought Killzone was the best looking game. Out of all the titles that was available when the PS4 launched, I thought Killzone Shadowfall was the best looking game. Drive Club, I thought Drive Club was the best looking racing game before GT Sport came along, as Drive Club is still a great looking game. You know, Infamous Second Son is still a good looking game too. And then Uncompetitive, he says Craig likes to make Scorpio out like it was a flop, but things would be worse for Xbox if they had made it at all, as those wanting more power for under $500 would go to the Pro.
Well, all right, I'll answer that. The Xbox X is fine. I've said this on my own podcast. There's nothing wrong with the Xbox Scorpio. The problem is the fanboys and fangirls ginned it up to be something that it's not. So it's underperforming. What do I mean by that? If power was the most important thing, then explain why we're in the 6th month of this console, 7th month technically, and it's not won any North American NPDs. None. It's not even gotten close.
And to add to that, I'm really sorry, Craig, because I want to slip this in before I forgot. And to add to what Craig is saying, I'm kind of not accepting that Microsoft had a limited budget, that they had to choose between developing the Xbox One X and putting out AAA titles, because Sony still found a way to build the PlayStation Pro. They still found a way to keep the exclusives coming even after that console launch. They still found a way to develop the PlayStation VR and put out games for the PlayStation VR. So, you know, and this is all coming from a company that was supposed to have been bankrupt, you know, and selling buildings left and right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all been told. You know, they had like 12 buildings and they condensed it down to like 7 buildings. But nevertheless, they did sell them. So, and they actually sold them to some big theater chain or movie studio thing. But ultimately, the Xbox X is underperforming there. And I've had to tell different people this. There's a difference in something floppy, like Justice League flopped. That's a flop, okay? Batman versus Superman underperformed. There's a difference, okay? I don't have time to explain the differences to you, but something comes in projected to do something, and when it hits, if it doesn't do 48% of that or 38% of it, it's considered a flop. That's Justice League. Batman versus Superman it underperformed. It still made over 800 million, but when you put Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in the same movie, they projected 1.6 billion. Therefore, their movie underperformed. The Xbox X is underperforming. It's not a flop. People bought it. Okay, people are buying it. But the Xbox One S, to their credit, even Phil Spencer said that the Xbox One S was going to be their biggest seller. So they already knew. They knew it. So the number may be where Microsoft thought it would be, but where the fanboys thought it would be, it's floppy. So, and that's why they're getting shouted down at this point, because in the words of T'Challa, when he went to the astral plane, when he told his father, "You were wrong." This is what I was saying on my podcast today. You were all wrong. And instead of you manning up, this is what I said. You all got a lot of these grown-ass men got kids, and that means if their father's not going to admit wrong, then the child won't admit wrong, and then they're going to get a phone call from school saying somebody shoved a lunchbox up your child's ass because he was being
realistically though, I don't get how anyone thought that the Xbox One X was going to make Xbox competitive again, because it just doesn't get any more simpler than that. You have a $500 console with no exclusives, and the multiplats is just not a big enough gap between the Xbox One X and the PlayStation Pro to me to warrant the $500. I have a PlayStation Pro. It makes absolutely no sense for me to buy an Xbox One X. I mean, everything that's available in terms of multiplats that's on the Xbox One is available on the PlayStation Pro, and a lot of them look damn close. And it just makes no sense for me, to spend that kind of money on a console only to get some micro thin graphics that are, like a micro thin slice better.
Well, you're 100% correct, but you're talking about a community online who came together because they thought the PlayStation outsold the Xbox because of power. I mean, I listened to an Xbox podcast the other day, and one of the guys on there was saying, well, Quantum Break got torn apart by the media because it was 720p. No, it got torn apart because you idiots didn't go buy it. You all didn't go buy that game. So it got torn apart. And so this whole thing of, well, we didn't buy it because of what the media said, I call bullshit on that. Again, you got grown men waiting to be validated. I've never seen a group of men like this that wait for something to validate them. That's what, and so it's become one big group think tank. So all of a sudden well, our games aren't selling, the console's not selling because PlayStation 4 is more powerful, and the multi-plat games look and run better on their console. So now Xbox has a more powerful console, and the multi-plat games are going to run and look better, and then everything's going to change. Everything will change, and nothing changed. Again, you were wrong. And instead of them just saying that, at least Zaire got out in front of it and said, hey, look, I was wrong. And that's all people are looking for them to come out and say that they were wrong, but they're never going to do it. So, and unfortunately, now people are going after their necks, and they know it. That's why it's E3 is the final chance. This is the Death Star closing in, and we're on Alderaan. It's whatever you want to call it, So, but like I said today. I have not seen a quote unquote PlayStation guy or gal do a podcast saying that E3 is Microsoft's last chance. You know who has been putting that out? The Xbox community, because the walls, this is it. The walls have closed in, the lies have caught up to them, and they know if they don't deliver at E3, people will just start naming them in their podcasts. They're going to come after them. They know it. Because I've had people direct message me like, hey, look, what do you think's going to happen? I said, there are going to be people coming for your neck. Sorry. so we'll have to wait and see. So somebody's blaming Digital Foundry. I don't know how you blame Digital Foundry on competitive. So all they did was their job. Where's your righteous indignation when Digital Foundry compared the 1060 to the 1070?
And they OBJ can't wait for Spider-Man. At the beginning of the generation, how everybody was, saying that everybody was hollering about the PlayStation having more power. To me, that was just so many things was a factor for the beginning of this generation. No, power didn't, power was part of what was going on, but that's not the reason Microsoft got off to a bad start. Does anybody remember this thing called DRM?
Yeah.
Digital rights management. Does anybody remember that? Does anybody remember all the bugs and stuff like that the Xbox One X had when it first came out? Does anybody remember the mandatory 24-hour check-ins for the Kinect? Does anybody remember Don Matrix's infamous words? I mean, Microsoft did that to themselves, and they never gave them, and Microsoft could never climb out of that hole when, as the years went on, they was putting out less and less content.
Yeah, you're right. I don't disagree. They're talking about, okay, look, power at the beginning of anything, when you're making a comparison, is going to happen. When we had 720p TVs, and we all remember that. When the 1080p TV came out, there was a reason why if you walked into Best Buy, they had the 1080p TV next to the 720p TV, because people were asking for a direct comparison. I need to see the difference in the 720p and the 1080p, because the 720p is $399 and the 1080p is $799. Same size TV, same brand. I was one of those people that did that. And when I saw the difference in the 1080p and the 720p, I'm like, oh, okay, I can't justify spending that much more money, maybe when it goes on sale. So yeah, this is when they just released those new, AMD released that Vega set. What was it, 64 or the 5.6? Well, the first thing they did was they tested it against each other. Here's the difference between this part and this part, and then here's the Vega versus the 1060. Oh, it performed better than the 1060. Let's compare it to the 1070. The 1070 does a lot of things better, but the Vega chip is cheaper. So AMD is trying to sell you something in between a 1060 and 1070 that's, for your pocket. This is easier on your wallet. That NVIDIA card, yeah, that's top of the line. You're not going to outperform it with this. And then they tested against everything. So there is uncompetitive. I understand what you're saying, but I respectfully disagree, because resolution had nothing to do with anything. And Lincoln forgot one thing. Everything he just said was 100% right. Sony's platform was $100 cheaper, like Impatient Fire said. Yeah. It was $100 cheaper. And when Mary Jo went into the store and she saw both those consoles next to each other, and one was $100 cheaper, guess which one got bought? That's what happened.
Yeah, she didn't know nothing about the power.
Back. She doesn't care. The power for her, because women, everybody knows this. The women are in charge of that pocketbook. Okay, all we say as men is yes, dear. Okay, if you master that, you're gonna have a long, successful relationship. So, and bottom line is that when she took her son, her son got straight A's, and she went to the store, whether it was Target or GameStop, wherever, Best Buy, and she said, "What does the Xbox do?" And they said it plays Blu-ray movies and it plays video games, and it lets you go online and play with your friend. Oh, it's $500. What's the PlayStation do? It does the same thing, except it's $100 cheaper. Guess which one got bought? But to them, Lincoln, and this is important, I say this, to them, because it has Microsoft on it, it's better. It's really hard. That's what I think a lot of people in the PlayStation community, myself included, don't understand. They think because it says Microsoft, they think it's better. And there's nothing you can do to move them off of that. Okay. I'm serious. I've tried. They won't budge off that. They're just not going to do it. So it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this. If Microsoft has a shitty E3 this year and they still doing the same thing they're doing now, damage controlling and looking for any little petty victory they can get, arguing about, hours logged in on a console and shit like that. If you can't get them off, if you can't get them to see reality after this E3, if it turns out to be a shitty E3, there's nothing you can say that's going to get them off, that's going to bring them back to earth.
Yeah. And shout out, you're right. And shout out to Savage Uger in the chat. A lot of Xbox fans they're more about brand loyalty than games. You're right. You're right. Because they're not playing their games. I mean, we know that. So, I mean, I didn't carry over my, with the Xbox, you can carry over everything you did since the OG Xbox. Okay, which of course, when I went from OG Xbox to 360, I let the Xbox assign me a name. Because, you can just randomly assign you a name. That's why my name is Situated Spoon 26. That's a random Xbox name. So, but when I let it assign it random, it didn't carry over my old stuff from my Hotmail account. Because my first email address was, because with the Xbox, you needed to have either a Hotmail or a Yahoo account. Yep. I remember going to the library. Yeah, I remember going to the library and registering a Hotmail account. I had to drive to the library, get the Hotmail account, drive back home, try to set up the Xbox again, and it was crazy. I remember going to the library, I had to wait almost 30 minutes for a computer, just, for Hotmail. But, yeah, it's unfortunate that, I'm seeing podcasts now are rumors that podcasts, they're saying that games, Gold, as I'm saying that, Xbox Gold, that's going to be free because the Xbox community is furious. Furious. Faces are turning purple because the PC community does not have to pay for Gold. They just they play. They don't have to pay for it. And the Xbox community, the console community is feeling more and more pressure. Again, the walls are caving in. So, and I told people this: to pop you some popcorn, get your favorite adult beverage, and then watch everything fall apart. And it will happen at E3. It will happen after E3 because that's not going to go the way they think.
No, once they eliminate, because if they make games with gold free, you're gonna see them. Microsoft giving away games right out of 1982 from arcades and shit like that. You're not gonna see any quality titles. Myself, that because they're trying to push Game Pass would never sell if they had quality AAA titles that they gave away every month for games with gold. Game Pass would never sell. Why would you need it?
Yeah. And so yeah. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Brother.
Okay.
Now, I was just going to say something you said on your podcast is that you've noticed how when Xbox does something, their community, the first thing they say is, "Oh, well, Sony's going to be doing this too."
Mm-hmm.
That's a coping mechanism. Oh, because it's bad. It's terrible what's happening to us, but Sony's got to do this too. And then when Sony doesn't do it, it's anti-consumerism. See how that works? See how they play that? You don't have EA access. That's anti-consumerism. Okay, if I wanted an EA game, I'll just go to the store and effing buy it. So that's what grown-ups do. But to them, it's anti-consumer. You don't have this service available. I didn't buy my console to activate a bunch of damn services.
Right. And they really stop that anti-consumer shit because when the 360 was winning the previous generation with games like God of War and when Halo was still pretty hot in Forza and stuff like that, nobody said that those games are anti-consumer. Nobody said that Microsoft should share those games with the PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, you made a good point. It seems to be only one group of people saying it's two groups actually. A lot of the anti-consumerism stuff is coming out of the PC community. And shout out to OBJ the Don, because if you all didn't watch his video on this, it was outstanding. It's about 45 minutes long, and I implore everybody to watch his video on it. It's the PC community. They literally think that because they spent $1,000 on a rig, they are entitled to play everything. And the same thing goes with the Xbox. They think because the Xbox is the most powerful that the developers should just put everything on there. They don't care that they're first-party games. I had a guy tell me that Insomniac should have forced Sony to put that game on the Xbox. Say, we're not going to, pretty much, we're not going to take your money unless you go ahead and put this game on the Xbox. I mean, had a guy literally tell me that. Okay, this is not fair to us. What about us over here who don't get to play the game? I said, well, how about you get up and go get a PlayStation? Well, and again, I shouldn't have to do that. See, the key word is shouldn't, but they don't understand. Again, they're simps. You know, they think they feel entitled, but like I said before, it's a generation that no matter how bad they were at something, they still got a trophy. Okay, it didn't matter. You could ice skate and fall down 50,000 times. Oh, at the end of the year, you got a trophy. They never learned how to lose. And that's what you're hearing in their voices. You know, I shouldn't have to do this to play that game. I shouldn't have to do that to do this. I mean, I like shout out to Griffin Gaming. I have a driver's license, okay? Does that entitle me to go to any car lot and just go drive off in any car I want without paying for it? No. You know, so, you know, but that's what they are. And they're boxed into a corner right now. And I'm telling you, Lincoln, they are sitting down with their fingers crossed, praying that E3 is, you know, Microsoft announces a 2-hour show. They run wild with that. Your point about PlayStation maybe not coming out for another 2 to 3 years, they go run wild with that. You know, so I mean, because they got nothing else. I mean, State of Decay comes out, gets trash reviews. Oh, we don't care what Metacritic thinks anymore. I mean, it's the same people that bragged about Forza getting good Metacritic scores now saying it don't count. Mm-hmm. The same people that bragged about Gears of War getting good Metacritic scores now say it don't count. So they're back. It's all come closing in around them now. So, and it's a handful of people. And I think a lot of their podcasts after E3 are going to go the way of the Mass Effect podcast after Andromeda came out, because there's people who aren't podcasting anymore because blind faith of that game led to people just literally ripping their asses up and down. They were getting drugged. Yeah, they were, bro. I mean, they were getting drugged up and down Twitter, up and down the internet. And so they just quit podcasting. They just stopped, you know. So, and blind loyalty, that's what it led them to. So,
you know, that has to be the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard, that somebody talking about that Insomniac should have forced Sony to let them put Spider-Man on the Xbox. First of all, I understand Sony came to you and said, we want you to make a game for us. And then they're bankrolling the game. They're paying for you to build the game, and they're paying you to build it. And somebody's supposed to tell them, no, we're not going to do it unless you let it be on the Xbox as well. That has to be, who the fuck said something like that? Who the fuck was that goddamn stupid?
That I promise you, it followed. My favorite tweet so far I've ever seen is, "You're gonna rule the day. You didn't put Spider-Man on the world's most powerful console." But that's what they're saying, is that Insomniac should have turned the money down because it's unfair to everybody, even to Insomniac. I'm like, so what? You think Insomniac should have went broke? Can't turn their lights and power on because it is and that's what they think, right? You know, that's what they think. So, but Spider-Man really, you got to understand. Like, and people pointed this out to me. A Sony exclusive game comes out, and then you get a tech demo. First thing they scream is, "Oh, it's been downgraded." Okay, then they find out it hasn't been downgraded. So their next thing is to, okay, well, maybe the game won't be that good. So they camp out on Metacritic. That's why today, shout out to J-Dub and myself, when those Metacritic scores came out, I started unleashing them on the Xbox community. I mean, it was just relentless, one after another. It was to already go ahead and just, like I said, punks jump up to get beat down. And this was just to go ahead and just they just need, like I said on my podcast, they just need to shut up. They weren't right about anything. If they would just shut up, everything would be fine. But they keep opening their mouths, and everybody wants to go play whack-a-mole. You know, so somebody says Spider-Man on the X will change the tides.
Whoa. Let me stop you right now.
Yeah.
No, hold on, because I saw some in the comments. Lunkin Lunker GT Sport is $7 right now on
Really?
PSN, and he's asking, is it worth it? Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? GT Sport is the best racing game out there. Even if it was $20, $40, it would still be worth it. And not only that, they're adding tracks and they're adding cars and not charging you for it. And there's no microtransactions in that game. The only, I guess the only catch is I don't know about this. In the beginning, I think you had to be online. Like I think it was an online only game. At least you had to be connected to the internet. But $7.
Yeah. Now is that just in Europe or is that worldwide? Because if it's $7, which I think it's only in Europe, he may be in a different country. So is that a US? Yeah, he says he's got to pick it up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Anything under $10 you buy.
That is,
except don't buy Mass Effect. Even if Mass Effect is $9, don't buy Mass Effect to drop.
No, I think truth be told, I think the going price on GT Sport is around $40 now. The game has been out for a while and it's still doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to believe the game is $7. But if it was $7, shit, I'll go beat on everybody's door in this apartment complex and tell them to buy GT Sport. If they don't, I'll start choking them all. So $7.
There you go. You buy this or else.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna regret the day you don't buy this for $7.
No, like I rented it when it first came out. I search PSN every day, Thrash. You know, a good person. Everybody, if you want to keep up with what's going on with a lot of shit that's on sale, whether it's on PSN, whether it's on Amazon or Newegg, there is a YouTuber called Game Cross. You should check out his channel. Every day he's always posting stuff about stuff that he found on sale. And if there's a flash sale at the PlayStation store, he usually has a video out on it within hours. You know, he finds those $10. Matter of fact, that Mass Effect Andromeda that I'm about to give Ryan, that I'm about to mail to him, that's how I found it for $10, was through Game Cross. I saw his video. He said it's $10 at Newegg. As soon as that video was over, I ordered it. $10.
Yeah.
So definitely check him out, because he's always got the skinny on what's on sale. Like I said, whether it's through the PSN, Amazon, Best Buy, what have you.
Yeah, and Newegg, they're having a good sale. That's why I'm buying some stuff from them this weekend. So I'm completing my Infinity Gauntlet, my PC. I'm gonna call it the Infinity Gauntlet because I'm getting the stuff one at a time. Like Thanos got those stones, you know. So those gems, I should say. So, yeah. But they call them stones now. I think they're called Infinity Stones. But
right. They're still talking about racing games a little bit in the chat, and I also wanted to tell them there's a few YouTubers. I love GT Sports so much that there's about 3 or 4 YouTubers that I'm subscribed to that they show their races, and there's this one guy called the Key 25, and he spells Key K-I-E, the Key 25. This is crazy, and it's funny that you in here, Thrash, because this guy, the Key 25, he does GT Sport races, and he uses the PlayStation, the Share Factory to make his videos, and it is the most professional looking shit that I've seen. I'd have to say, out of all the people that I've seen that uses the Share Factory to make their video, you, King Thrash, and this guy, the Key, have to be the 2 best at using the Share Factory to make these professional looking videos. And when he does these racing videos, he's got 3 angles, 3 camera angles, you know, one inside the car, one from the car that's pursuing him, that's in back of him, and then like the broadcast camera angles. So, you know, if you're in the GT Sport, I think you should check this guy out too. I absolutely love it. My bad. I'll send you a link to his channel, Thrash, so you won't have to chase him down. but definitely check his stuff out. Even if you don't like racing games, man, still look at his videos, man, because it is so professionally done. I swear to God, watching his videos is like watching something on the European Speed Channel.
Yeah, this just came out for Detroit. I guess the Metacritic score has changed because they said it's going to be a huge hit now. So I don't know what has happened between this morning and it says it's still an 80. So
I think 80 is good because, to tell you the truth, I felt that, like, I think it's going to be a good game. At one point, I was looking forward to Detroit Become Human more. I was looking forward to that game more than I was looking forward to God of War at one point. And but I thought because it's a point and click game and there's going to be some quick time events in this game, I figured the critics, along with some media people that might have been paid off or that might be biased, was going to knock this game down.
Right. Well, it falls, as far as PS4 titles, it falls right behind Far Cry 5, or right in that range. Far Cry 5. Ugh. So, but yeah, they say, this is comicbook.com. It says Detroit Become Human. Metacritic score indicates another exclusive hit for PS4. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of just like a freight train running down the road at this point. So
while we're talking about Detroit Become Human, last night I bought the digital deluxe edition and it came with a copy of Heavy Rain.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. But yeah, I heard Heavy Rain is good. The one that they said is garbage is the freebie, the Beyond Two Souls, and Beyond Two Souls looks very pretty, but yeah, so far I don't like it. I mean, I played it for like an hour. I'm like, man, so far this is it's not trash, but it's not very good. So
yeah. Impatient Fire. If you're gonna pick that game up, I suggest you start downloading it now. If you plan on playing it at midnight. That's why I bought mine yesterday. Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is one of my favorite games on the PS3. Heavy Rain and Killzone 2 are two of my favorite games, and Resistance 2. 3. Those are three of my favorite games on the PS3. Heavy Rain, I thought at the time that I saw that game, I was like, this game is raising the bar as far as graphics goes. But
yeah.
I think because it wasn't a Call of Duty type game, because it wasn't a multiplayer or something like that, it wasn't going to get the acclaim that it deserved.
Yeah. Well, OBJ the Don said that Colin Moriarty says this is game of the year over God of War. Well, I mean, that's all opinion, but God of War was a really good game. So.
The more I think about it, I keep on forgetting I'll be able to play Detroit Become Human at midnight. So I got to make sure I got my shit together because I'm going to be on it at midnight.
Yeah, I'll be at the movies, but I'll be getting it tomorrow morning, and I'll spend the day come hook or crook, unless I'm dead or in jail. Who knows? Maybe get pulled over by the cops. They may fill me full of hot lead tonight. I don't know. But
don't say that, man.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, you're right. But they, I don't think, at least in my city, GameStop's not having a midnight release, or I would go get it at midnight. So I don't think they're doing a midnight release for it. So yeah, looks like it'll be digital, or I'll be getting it tomorrow. I'm going to Best Buy tomorrow morning and picking it up. So,
I ain't gonna lie, I got lazy, man. Getting up and going to get the physical copies and having to wait because I want, like, if it's a game that I really want, I want to play it at midnight. I want the game to unlock at midnight. So that's why I've been, buying these digitals. I hate to say it,
Well, yeah, and I can't blame people for buying digitally. And like, shout out to a Review Tech. He was saying that, you don't have to get up and go and fight traffic and some idiot in line that says something stupid. My last midnight release I went to was GTA 5. So, oh no, I'm sorry, it was No Man's Sky. Yeah, that's the last midnight release I've done. So, it's, yeah, I'm going to see Solo, OBJ the Don.
The last midnight release that I went to was the night that the PS4 launched. Because I bought mine from GameStop because they because they were releasing it at midnight. I think they were the only ones that were releasing it at midnight. And boy, I remember it like it was yesterday. I got there and it was like, I don't know, it was probably like 25 people, 30 people standing outside of GameStop. And then the way they did it was you go in and you check in. And then like once you check in, they'll check the status of your order. And if you owed any money, then you paid it off right then and there. And then they'll hand you a ticket with a number on it. And then they'll call your number and you come up to the desk, and then they'll put everything in the bag, the PS4 along with their shitty ass magazine that they always trying to peddle off on people, and in a couple of care packages. But boy, I can't tell you how happy I was when I got that PS4. I came home and I plugged my webcam up to my computer, because I live by myself. So It was the only way I could take a picture of myself holding my PS4. So I stood in front of my webcam holding my PS4 at like 1 a.m. or something like that. Posted that shit on Facebook. Boy, you talk about somebody happy as a cricket.
Yeah, he said, the guy in your chat is saying that it's the GT Sport is $7. I'm checking it now.
I just can't see it because the game has sold relatively well. It hasn't done, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I know that the game is selling. I know that the game is selling decent.
Yeah. Well, it'll sell even better now if it's only going to be $7.
Right. And the game does have a huge following. There are so many YouTubers that make videos off of that game. I mean, hell, I even did a review video of the game.
Yeah. I got a shit. Why everybody is inviting me for something called Fortnite?
Oh, you know what? I forgot. Craig, I was listening to one of your podcasts earlier today, and you were saying you was looking for somebody to play MLB The Show with.
Oh yeah, that was yesterday. Because everybody keeps talking about something called free smoke, and I'm like, nobody can explain what that is. So I'm like, well, somebody needs to come play me MLB The Show, and I'll show you some free smoke with this curveball.
I'll play you. So we matter of fact, in a few minutes here, I'm going to send you my PSN through Twitter directly.
Okay. Well, let me tell you this: the Mass Effect Standard Recruit Edition bundle is $7.49. I'm seeing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this right now. Yeah, go ahead and buy that. So you're going to spend $8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find it for it. I do not see it. So
Silver Sky said he played GT Sport for an hour and sold that shit. Hey, racing ain't for everybody, but I still think it looks better than Forza. I think it's I definitely think it's more realistic than Forza. And I absolutely love, even though they need to work the kinks out of it, I still love the penalty system on GT Sport because it promotes clean racing. And I mean, whereas Forza, everybody races so fucking dirty on that game. If you try to pass somebody, they will knock your ass off the road without a second thought.
That's the way I drive on Forza. Man, I drive like a madman. You can't do that. All right, now Witcher 3. This is the PSN sale. If you haven't played Witcher 3, they got the complete edition. So that's both DLCs for $20. I highly recommend that. That's all I can say. I do not see.
What's up, Jamal?
I do not see Gran Turismo. If he's in a different country, it may be on sale for that amount. So,
you know what? If that Game Cross guy that I mentioned, if it was $7, he would have mentioned it in one of his videos, because he's always talking about the flash sale. $7, I just find that hard to believe because
I'm there now. find out. Let's see what it says here.
I can see the game going on sale.
It's $40. It's $40 US.
Uncompetitive. You say you don't drive, you don't play multiplayer in Forza for that exact reason. If you want to play 2 racing games where you ain't got to worry about people knocking you off the road, GT Sport and Drive Club are your 2 games. Because like Drive Club, for instance, if you drive maliciously or you cut across the road to to take a shortcut or something like that, the game automatically slows you down right then and there for like 5 seconds before it takes the brakes off of you and lets you, get back up to speed. GT Sport, they implement the penalty system depending on how severe the infraction is. The penalty could be anywhere from 1 second to 20, to 15 seconds. And when you get a penalty that's so severe at like 15 seconds or something like that, if you don't slow down and serve that penalty, right then and there, I think they start adding seconds on to the penalty.
Yeah.
So I've seen people get hit with a penalty that was 15 seconds and it ballooned up to 40 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to literally set people up like you do in a real race. You can't pass on the first to third lap. You have to work with another car. You may be in 5th place, the other car may be in 4th place. You all want to get up to 2nd and 3rd, respectively. You have to work together with that car to get to move, to help move those cars. And that's what really happens in a real race. Yeah, you're right. Forza, you can bump and nudge, which is fine. I don't mind that. But it's to the point where you can actually pit people. I mean, that's a maneuver that the cops use. That's why you always see the police trying to take out the back tires. That's the pit maneuver that's used all the time in Grand Theft Auto. If you're ever running from the cops and they're chasing you, they're bumping you constantly, they're trying to spin your car.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually do that in Forza. So that's a real maneuver. So,
like they'll try to keep you from passing because they'll zigzag, but what they don't understand is they actually slowing themselves down by trying to block you. And if you keep the straight line, you're still going to carry more speed. But it's just like you said, Craig, once you pass them, they'll try that cop maneuver and try to clip the corner of your car and spin you out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Trash, but it is nothing. But yeah, as far as the way Forza 7 looks, it looks, especially Horizon, Forza Horizon 3 does look really good. I mean, it looks real good. But and I'm looking forward to Horizon 4. I'll just be playing it on my PC. I will not be playing it on the Xbox because this thing's going to the retirement farm, once I get everything else lined up. But I have to do what Thanos did to Vision, at the end of the movie, so to my Xbox. So yes, but yeah, it's all good. Yeah, Drive Club is good. Never played in VR, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Damn, Fatal Mephisto, you're in a bad mood. Everything's garbage to you. So,
who was it? Who said that? Uncompetitive. Drive Club is my favorite. Drive Club VR is amazing. It is. It really is fun. I just hate night. I'm not gonna lie though about the PlayStation VR. Night races are horrible on that game because it's so blurry in the background that there's some things you just cannot see it until it hits you at the last second. But I bought a racing wheel about a month ago. I bought the Thrustmaster T150. It was $200, and it's the cheapest racing wheel that you can find. It has force feedback. I still like the wheel. So whenever I get up off my ass, I'm gonna jump back on the VR and play Drive Club and try it out with that racing wheel.
Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah, now I'll be able to play the baseball game. Either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm going to the movies here in about another 30 minutes.
Okay. So, you got a PlayStation VR, Craig?
No. And I should have bought it when it came down to what was it, $199? Did it come down to like $199 for like a month?
Yeah, the Gran Turismo edition right there, the Gran Turismo bundle, where it came with the headset, the camera, and a copy of Gran Turismo. That was a steal.
Yeah. And that's when I should have bought it, but I was trying to figure out what computer parts to get. Now that I know what to get, I'm just going to go ahead and get them. So yeah, but that's when I should have bought. That's everybody. That's when everybody should have bought it.
The reason I brought that up. The reason why I brought that up, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I had to get this in while I'm still thinking about it. The reason why I brought that up is because on the PlayStation VR, they have a game called MLB Home Run Derby for the PlayStation VR.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I definitely will look into it. But I prefer have a Switch than the PlayStation VR because I'm a big Donkey Kong fan, and I'm hoping we get some kind of a Donkey Kong announcement at E3 next month, kind of a stealth announcement that everybody knows about the big ones that are coming. But I would like to see a Donkey Kong game, even if it's an old Donkey Kong game, you know. So to bring it back, and because that's one of the pillars of my childhood is asteroids, space invaders, and Donkey Kong. So I plunked many a quarter at the arcade into those machines. So so yeah, and now we can plunk quarters and play Halo at Dave and Buster's. So who would have known? But it's too many wires with the PlayStation VR. So I'm hoping that they go ahead and get rid of some of the wires.
There's nothing you can do about that because Oculus and Vive have wires too. Uncompetitive and OBJ the Don, both of y'all made good points. Like Uncompetitive said, might as well wait for the second generation headset to go with the PS5 at this point. For the most part, I would agree with that, but I think that because the PlayStation VR is going to be on sale for $200 again, quite a few times, I believe, before this generation is up. I think for $200, I think it's still a good buy, even in this stage of the generation. OBJ the Don, thank you so much for that reminder about the Creed boxing game. I'm going to get that, even though I think Knockout League is what fucked my shoulder up. I'm really embarrassed to say that, because I was playing Knockout League on the PlayStation VR to get my cardio in, and after every fight, it shows up in the corner how many calories you burn for that fight, and so I was getting my cardio in twice a week. And then when I first started playing that Knockout League VR, every time I would stun my opponent, I was trying to take him out with these haymakers and throw these giant ass bricks, and it fucked something up in my shoulder. I threw something out in my shoulder, and my shoulder's been bothering me for the last couple of months. And I mean, I've only worked out once, and I've only worked out once in the last month. I haven't been to the gym in about 3 weeks. So yeah, that's ironic that he brought up that boxing game, because it was a boxing game that fucked my damn shoulder up. But it's gonna get better. I'm gonna get back in the gym, all that stuff. But yeah, OBJ, I can't wait for that Creed boxing game. I'm gonna get it. I also understand, in addition to being a boxing game, I guess there's some cinematic shit in it too. So yeah, that's definitely on my list. Along with all these other games, like all these other games that Sony got coming out for the PlayStation VR, Firewall, Alvo, Blood and Truth, Special Forces VR. I mean, it's it's about 5 or 6 games on the PlayStation VR that I absolutely can't wait for them to come out with.
Yeah, no, they're gonna have I think they're gonna have a pretty big show of VR at E3, even though it's not good to show that because that's a low adoption rate. But yeah, I understand why they got to do it. So, but yeah, here's everybody that bought one. Yeah, I'm envious of you. So. The people that bought one. So
let me respond to a couple of more people. First, Daniel Marson. Yes, I do have Super Hot VR. I played it a little bit, and it's some Matrix type shit. You gotta try to avoid them bullets coming at you and shit like that. You gotta bend and twist all kinds of crazy directions to avoid all them bullets. It's a pretty cool game. And Lunker, you talking about my shoulder? Did I hear a pop in my shoulder? As far as no, I didn't hear a pop that night, but when I woke up the next morning, my shoulder was on fire. It was just constantly burning. But yeah, when I raise my shoulders, sometimes I hear a pop. Sometimes I hear a couple of pops. Some days it gets better. Some days I wake up and the fucking shit is on fire. So I don't know if there's scar tissue in there from me tearing something. I don't know if I tore something. I don't think I pulled something because I don't think it'd be bothering me for 2 fucking months. I think it would have been better by now. I think I might have tore something. What I'm hoping it's not damn bone spurs or something like that in there. But
yeah, that would be bad, especially in your shoulder.
Right, because what I don't want to do, because your shoulder, as far as working out, especially on a bench, the shoulder is your most important part because that's one of the pivot points of bringing the bar up and down. And if your shoulder can't take the weight, you cannot bench it. It's that simple. And as of right now, there's no way I can bench what I used to bench. 275, 300, whatever the case may be. There's no way I can bench that shit right now. I can probably still bench 225 a few times. But the heavy duty shit, no, I can't do it right now.
Damn, that's how much I weigh, 225.
How tall are you?
Me? 5'9".
Shit, you pretty thick like me, because a year and a half ago, I was 225, but I had a little bit of a belly. So I went on a diet and got all the way down to 198, and I looked good, and the abs was starting to show, but I didn't like how small I got. So I put some weight back on, and I came back up to 215. So my picture that you're looking at right now, that picture was taken almost a year ago. I want to say it was taken about 10, 11 months ago, and I was about 215 pounds in this picture. And I went on a diet again, went down to 205. So right now I'm sitting on at about 207. I'm not going back up to 225 again. Because like I said, I had a little bit of a belly. Matter of fact, let me show you. I'm gonna show my screen because my face was all fat and shit. And I was hurting my back because I had a little bit of a belly, and I had a little bit of a belly, and it was starting to hurt my back trying to suck it in. Let me share my screen with y'all and show y'all my fat ass face when I weighed 225. See here. Go here. Where is it? Right here. I weighed 225 in that picture right there, but you can you can see how fat my face is. Dudes that I work with was telling me that I look like I pulled trucks and shit.
Yeah.
But
wait, my girlfriend at the time was calling me a chocolate chunk.
This is one of my other pictures that I've used before too. In this picture too, I'm also weighing 225, but my belly wasn't as big at the time. I was I was a working food in that picture, because I was like going to the gym like 5-6 days a week, benching 300 on a decline bench, deadlifting 400 pounds, that kind of shit. I don't know. Like I scratched this chick's face out, but this is another picture where I weighed about, where I was about 225. I was about 225 in that picture too.
Yeah, that's now what are those 30 pounders you got, or 40s? Are those 10s? Those dumbbells.
Oh, those dumbbells. Oh, hell no. Those are 60s.
All right, yeah, I could barely see. I could see the 0, but I couldn't see the other one. So
no, because like you see the 10s right there, and then there's 1, 2, 3 on one side. Those are 60-pound dumbbells. But I was doing I was doing military press with those, because that was a light day for me. Because like normally when I would do military presses with dumbbells, I would normally do them with 80-pound dumbbells. And then as far as laying flat, doing a flat bench with dumbbells, I was using 100-pound dumbbells, and then doing shoulder shrugs, because you see what my traps look like in that picture. That came from deadlifting and doing shoulder shrugs. And when I was doing shoulder shrugs, I was doing shoulder shrugs with like 130-pound dumbbells. So I lifted heavy, and I was like I said, I was deadlifting 405 at the time.
Yeah. That's I do 60s, but only when I'm on the incline. That's
This
something because you get that negative going, and so that's but yeah, that's I can see the sixes now. Yeah, I can see the zero. I can see that other number. So I'm like, well, I know that's more than 10. Come on.
This is one of my better pictures right here. And the crazy part about this is I was an even 200 pounds in this picture. I look better, because my arms is, because I had lost some of the weight and got some of that fat off. It allowed the definition to come through in my arms.
Now you're getting big. Now, OBJ in the chat said his anniversary is tomorrow, so that's congratulations on that. But he's gonna go ahead and get a couple hours in on Detroit. Gonna pull a Bill Cosby on her. That's bad, man. Oh, that's pretty funny, man. Well, that's Mr. Puddin' Pop himself. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's all good. But yeah, man. Like I said, I'm gonna actually bounce on off here because we're about get ready to go up to this movie. So it starts at 9:50. So
okay, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down myself because I want to go pick up. I want to go pick up some. I want to get some content on the PlayStation and then get ready for Detroit when it unlocks at midnight.
Yeah, and everybody needs to get their. If you're buying it, get your joysticks charged. Don't do what I did when God of War came out and joystick was dead. I had to wait like 3 hours or whatever it was to charge it before I got it up to like 2 bars and I played. So yeah. But all right then, bro, man, I appreciate you having me on. It was I do appreciate it. Thanks.
Oh, it was a pleasure having you come by because it kept the podcast going. I mean, because but between you and the chat, shit, we could have kept this going all night between you and the chat. I mean, that's just how good that is. I really appreciate you coming by, and as usual with the chat, I appreciate everybody commenting because oh yeah, Ryan, I was definitely about to say that. Make sure you send me your address through Twitter and God damn it, VidKid, I'll get that I'll get that code to you tomorrow or Saturday. More than likely tomorrow because a reminder to everybody, 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday on the Lincoln Show, Foxy Games UK is going to be my guest, and so I want to make sure I'm planted to that chair. I want to make sure my feet are handcuffed to this computer chair, because I definitely don't want to miss this podcast. Hey, you know what, Craig, before you get out of here, I was thinking about trying to reach out to Randall Thor.
Yeah, that's a good one. He'll come on.
Well, here's the thing about it, though. I done called him a damage controller a few times because I felt like I don't think he's a fanboy like that, but I think he's a damage controller. I think that when a game is absolutely trash, I think he tries to put it in the most conservative, most professional manner possible, because I always got the impression that he might be scared he might piss off Microsoft or piss Phil off or something like that, or whoever he's connected to within Microsoft. So I thought about reaching out to him and asking him if he wanted to come on the Lincoln Show, but I don't know. I figure I don't know what his mindset is. Like I'm so fortunate that Foxy Games UK is willing to come on here, and he said it was no problem because he said he wants to help the smaller YouTubers. He wants to help them grow because he said, dealing with people that's on the same level as him, are egotistical. And that's, he said he don't usually like dealing with them.
Yeah. Well, if it makes any difference, Rand has been on Porter Rock show several times, and he's actually come on my podcast once. And yeah, when I did a one-on-one with him, I was a little nervous because you don't want to alienate a guest. And of course, there was somebody in my chat who did exactly that. I was ready to boot that guy out of chat. But Rand, he was 100% professional, and he kept it 100, So, but yeah, he's told me he doesn't care about the sub size. He just likes to talk about the games. And, I asked him, was there a huge difference in the PlayStation games versus the Xbox games? And he said yes, and he went on to explain some of the differences. And it had nothing to do with the graphics. It has everything to do with the actual physical game themselves. But yeah, I was surprised, and I'm trying to get my big one. Hopefully, will be Cobra TV because he covers a ton of indies. He covers No Man's Sky and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tweet him again tonight. I wanted to do it last night, but yeah, I'm gonna give him a big shout out and DM him tonight on trying to set up something for next week or week after that. So after Memorial Day, stuff like that, because I know it's a lot of people off tomorrow. They got that long weekend, coming up. So, I got to work Saturday, but I'm off Sunday and Monday. They let me have Monday off. So they just text me today. Like, you can have off? I'm like, yay.
Okay. Real quick before you go, a couple of things. First of all, OBJ and the Don says, great show, fellas. I think you and Craig have good chemistry. Y'all might want to look into doing more of these together. Of course, I love Craig's stuff. And I heard you earlier in your podcast earlier. It was yesterday, Craig, where you mentioned having me and Gunru, come on your podcast. And I think I speak for Gunru when I say we'd love to come on there.
Yeah, Gunru. I did a Porchlight podcast last night, and he was in the chat. I'm like, man, y'all are up late. Where's your girls? My excuse, I was at work, so, but yeah, he was in the chat, but yeah, seems like a good dude. I know he just got his channel up and running, so I just got to get everybody's skill. But yeah, I definitely, since you had me on yours a few times, I definitely want to get you to come over on mine, and we'll set up the MLB The Show, and maybe we'll be able to live stream that for everybody to watch that.
I would love that.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend, everybody, get your lemonade and maybe watch us throw down on that. So, but yeah, we'll work out the time. I can do it either. I got to work Saturday, so I can do it Sunday. But I know you're doing stuff on Sunday, so hell, maybe we'll set it up.
Well, it's the holiday, so I won't have to go back to work until tomorrow. So, like as far as Saturday goes, I got Foxy Games UK on there, and then but after that I'm good. And then as far as Sunday goes, I got the PlayStation Plus podcast, which I don't know if you're going to be there or not, with sick, but after that, I don't have anything going on. So, whatever time you want to do it Sunday, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll try Sunday after that podcast. We'll get a definite time. I'll message you and we'll get it all set up because I don't know if I'm grilling out on Sunday. So, but I'll find all that out tomorrow. I'll find that out tomorrow. So, but yeah, we'll definitely get it going. So, but thanks, OBJ, man. And you all go check out OBJ's podcast on that anti-consumerism stuff he did. I mean, he did a hell of a job breaking that shit down. So go check that out.
Speaking of which, OBJ, I got my eyes on you for the Lincoln show at some point if you're interested in coming on.
There you go. He's the one that coined trash.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why like I was thinking about that all day. Like, it'd be cool to bring him on the show and ask him how he got started with that. So yeah, OBJ, expect to hear from me in the near future, bro.
There you go. Yeah, brother's gonna work it out.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so I'll let you get going before I end up keeping you here till midnight Eastern. I'm gonna go grab something to eat and then try to decide what I'm gonna play before midnight and decide whether I'm gonna stream something or whatever the case may be. I might stream a game of MLB The Show, something like that. But
yeah,
so
I'll be ready. I'll throw a few practice pitches. I haven't played in a while, so yeah, I need to go ahead and get that down. So how did you do the other day when you did your online stream? Who ended up winning that game?
Yeah, so like Gunru won the first game. I won the second game. We still got to play a rubber match.
Okay.
But if he listening to use the words of King Thrash, let him know my Nostradamus game is on point. Oh, that's my man, Thrash. That's my man.
Yeah, that dude's cool as hell. So, I got to learn how to use that Share Factory. People can make videos like that using Share Factory. I just need to sit down one day and learn how to do it. Go online and do a YouTube video.
No. You ain't got to do all that because Thrash showed me how to use it. I caught on to the basics of the Share Factory, but Thrash walked me through the advanced shit. After I made my first video, my intro video, me and Thrash talked on the PlayStation party chat, and he was walking me through all kinds of stuff. So that's where I'm going with that. You don't need to look at YouTube or nothing like that. You know, talk to Thrash or talk to me. One of us will hook up with you through the PlayStation chat and walk you through all that stuff. That's how Gunru made his intro video. I walked him through how to do it. He did everything right, except that he put the title. He put the title on the intro screen instead of putting the title on the title screen.
All right, I need to go ahead and sub to him right after this podcast.
But it's easy, man. It may sound complicated, but the Share Factory, as far as the basic goes, it is very, very easy.
Okay, yeah, because I definitely want to do an intro video and start doing uploads and stuff like that. Because especially with the gameplay and stuff like that. So, because I've recorded a shit ton of gameplay, just different games, and I need to go ahead and learn how to do it. So,
yeah, and Thrash is a master at using that Share Factory. He's a master at that.
Yeah. Yeah, now his stuff looks real good. Foxy Games, I think he uses Share, and his stuff looks good too. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'll get on up out of here, and yeah, we'll hook that up for everybody this weekend. Get a good laugh, and we're trying to hack at some pitches. So you know.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And before I get out of here, Ryan, I just want to let you know that I got your message, I got your address, and we'll get that ball rolling, and I'll get that Mass Effect in the mail this weekend.
Yeah.
So, but because it's the holiday though, because it's Memorial Day or whatever the case may be, don't expect the game to show up until like the middle of next week or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you want to know how to make a good-looking character or good-looking female character, go online. There are some people that are like professional makeup models that actually help. That's why my character on Mass Effect looked the way she did. Because I actually followed the tips of a professional like makeup artist. Like, look at this, do this. These are considered attractive eyes. This. That's why she had real deep blue eyes, but her hair was silver, like what you call it, Halle Berry's Storm character. So you wanted to offset of blue to silver. Then her skin, she wasn't white. She wasn't 100% dark. She was kind of right in between. People were like, "Man, your character looks fantastic. How'd you make that?" So.
I was looking at OBJ to Don. He said, "I heard Xbox is going to announce 2 new IPs and cancel them in the same E3 show."
Yeah, I'm out at 6:05 and said we got 2 new IPs, and right at 8 o'clock, oh, we got to cancel these games.
Oh my goodness,
that's hilarious. So that's funny. But all right then, man, let me get on up out of here before this girl comes out and gives me the stink eye. So, even though it's you know, we get the seating in advance and all that kind of stuff, reserved seating. We like to kind of go to the theater and soak up the ambiance, you know, of the theater. So,
yeah, do you go to a theater that's got the reclining seats?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's like being in a lounge, man. It's so comfortable.
Yeah, it is. It's deadly comfortable for me. But yeah, I enjoy it. In Movie Tavern, they serve food and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get my Chipotle sliders tonight because that's what I always get. They see me coming in, I just hand the menu back to them, say Chipotle sliders, lemon water. That is what I get at Movie Tavern. So.
That is what it's up, man. So you have a good time tonight, man. What you going to see?
Solo. I'm going to go see do the double feature, doing it tonight. Then I'm doing it Sunday evening as well. So so yeah, going Sunday with my comic book crew, and because we couldn't do it all together Friday night, because we usually do comics because I have to work Saturday, but we always meet at the comic book store Saturday at 10, and we have our little comics and coffee 2-hour sit down, but I got to work this Saturday. So yeah, this we couldn't all go see it tonight. So or Friday night because a couple of people were working. So we're gonna go see it tonight, and then we're gonna all go see it again Sunday about 6 o'clock. So, but yeah, so that's what we're doing.
That'll work. All right, then, everybody. That's going to do it for us. Like I said, he's got to go to the movies. I got to get up and go get something to eat and come back and get some time in before Detroit unlocks at midnight. So, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you give it a like. For those of you who happen to catch the replay of this, give it a like. And as I always say, make sure you lock the door on your way out. So with that being said, for my man, Craig Harris, this is your boy, Lincoln Clay. We will holler at y'all later. And we are out.
Peace.